There are some things that I can just never understand. As much as I sympathize, I simply can't empathize. I know what it's like to be hungry, but I do not understand starvation. Today's story is about survival and the ripples of history that you can see in the modern day, even in our dinner plate. Okay, so are you ready? Let's go eat some spiders. It's weird to think about where certain traditions started. Everything that we consider normal right now, somebody decided at some point that that was just going to happen now. From weird Eastern European folk dances to unironically calling people bro, somebody had to start all these things. And it's the same here with spiders. This is the edible spider of Cambodia. The town of Skuon in central Cambodia is famous for their tarantula. Covered in soy sauce, some garlic, and a bit of salt, they're fried up just like any other street meat. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call them a delicacy, but they're popular enough. Tourists in particular help drive the industry, but its popularity is relatively new. The Khmer call them ap ping, and I believe the proper English term is the Thai zebra spider, but I'm going to call it by its more common nickname, the edible spider. For untold history, the edible spider has been used as a rare source of food and medicine across Southeast Asia. It ranges through Myanmar, Thailand, and Cambodia, and probably even further, nobody's certain. But just because people knew about it doesn't mean it wasn't exactly a common meal. It wasn't like beef or chicken. No restaurants were considered the go-to place for arachnid cuisine. There was no Skuon to serve as a culinary center. It waited in the wings. It was used as medicine for knee and back pain and, oh, the biggie, sexual prowess. And even more than that, they said that it made women more attractive. Although I guess temporarily, because if that were long term, everyone would here be like a supermodel, right? Anyway, when food was low, people could always take to the forest and find a few edible spiders. And there's evidence of this type of behavior in societies around the world. Many foods that are considered substandard exist in the back of people's minds without ever really sitting next to their rice, so to speak. They're the B squad. In societies where food isn't always prevalent, plans against starvation can't just be theoretical. Inevitably, they'll have to be put into practice, and they can save your life. They can even save your entire society. Polynesians who've never eaten the stem of ferns still know from history that they're edible. So how do these spiders go from being a rare medicine to a common street food? It isn't like, they're easy to hunt. You have to go out into the jungle by yourself, hunt them by hand, and it is a rapidly depleting forest here in Cambodia, so their natural habitat's depleting. It must be getting harder and harder over time. They aren't exactly a natural protein source. And yet, they're being eaten now on the streets in large numbers. So what takes us there? There needs to be a catalyst for this sort of thing. And unfortunately, the catalyst in Skuon was starvation. If you remember our Khmer Rouge video, you'll likely recall that in the late 1970s, Cambodia went through a period of forced starvation. Agrarian leaders gone crazy denied people the right to scavenge, even when it meant certain death. Collecting food from the forest meant you were getting more than your neighbor, and that was unacceptable. But people aren't idiots. If you're dead either way, you make the hard choice and scavenge. Many Cambodians would have lived in the forest their whole lives, and finding food wouldn't have been all that hard. But what if they got caught? So if they could find food, it had to be gone quick. The less bulky, the better. A mushroom popped in the mouth on a walk, bamboo shoots ripped out of creeks, a handful of stolen rice, or even tarantulas. You can imagine that people all over the country were trying the same thing, heading out of town on some false pretense, looking for anything they could find to eat. In some places, they were able to squeeze life out of the forest. In others, they couldn't. But in Skuon, somebody squeezed life out of a spider. And it turns out, they tasted pretty good. The real hard part's kind of getting over the mental game, this idea that you're eating a tarantula. But after that, kind of just tastes like gooey chicken. But soon, as with everything in Cambodia, the tourists heard the story and came to see the spectacle. With more money coming in, it's become a small industry all its own. They're a symbol of adaptation in a country with a rapidly evolving identity. You can so clearly see the stamp of Cambodian history written into this food. The spider's animist origins filtered through the horror of Pol Pot, only to be sold to modern tourists just trying to eat something weird. And just like everything else connected to Cambodia's forests, their future's uncertain. Cambodia is no longer starving, and tourism is now in the millions. Spiders aren't like cows, you know? One doesn't exactly feed the community for weeks. And as the last remaining bits of jungle become farmland, there aren't a lot of areas left to hunt edible spiders in. There are definite benefits to eating insects over animals. It's just that if you focus on one, it's really easy to harvest it down to nothing. The future of these tarantulas is uncertain. Maybe we'll figure out how to farm them, maybe we'll hunt them to extinction, or maybe they'll just go back to being starvation food. But for the time being, this is Rare Earth. So let's look at Cambodia's edible spider. Alright. Ah, there you go. Whew. Whew. They're easy to catch. Their jungle is rapidly depleting. These spiders are... Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, over here. Down we go. Alright, well that one was tougher.